Right, right. Now, let's switch gears a little bit and explain to end users the different sorts of professionals that are out there to help them. Now, we hear a lot of terms bandied about in the industry. There's a channel partner, there's telecom agent, there's VAR, value-added reseller, MSP, managed services provider. Can you share with us, customers, I've never had a customer call and ask me, are you a VAR or MSP or a channel partner? But in the kind of panoply of all the solution providers out there, what do you see as the difference between a VAR and an MSP and a telecom agent slash channel partner?
Well, what I see what's going on in this world right now is everything's going to the cloud. All the worlds are colliding together.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I think is that we all need to work together.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the VARs are so used to the CapEx model and they don't understand the true value of an OpEx,
Mm-hmm.
monthly recurring value or monthly recurring revenue.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so used to getting all their money up front.
Mm-hmm.
And in our business, it's an annuity.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to look long term, not short term.
Right.
And the VARs who want to get into our space, and they all do, they just don't understand how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's only been a few who've had success, and the ROI, from what I hear, is about 3 years. And even sometimes after 3 years, they're not having the right people, and then they're not getting the right penetration.
Right, right.
So it doesn't matter if you're an MSP, a VAR, or an agent. At the end of the day, is I think we could all work together,
Mm-hmm.
and we could all share in the revenue together, and I refer to as revenue sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important, just like us as a channel partner / agent,
Mm-hmm.
it's important for us to partner up with the VARs as the technology has changed. Now our customers need, headsets because everything's like a soft phone for
Right.
larger customers, or the POS systems that we can sell. In the past, we couldn't sell these things, not that we didn't know what was available. We didn't have the right partners that we could tap into with the
Mm-hmm.
scan source of VARs,
Mm-hmm.
that now we could bring them into some of our customers and sell the services to our customers, and vice versa. And I think if we could all play together in the same sandbox, that we all become out winners. And
Right.
if we are going to fight with each other, then it's going to do no one good.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest concern I see with the VARs is they're going to try to sell some carrier services, not know how to support it.
Mm-hmm.
And what will happen is the customer will be upset. They're
Right.
not happy. And the business that they had before, they'll lose that business plus the additional business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a firm believer that you bring the right people in who can do the best thing for each customer.
Right.
I'm not the right guy for the POS system, but I know somebody who can do that.
Right.
Just like they're not the right guy to sell an MPLS network. They should bring
Mhm.
us in. And if we all work together, we're all going to benefit.
Well, no, I toured a large partner facility here in Chicago this week, and they've come up with what seems to be a reasonable solution where they have an in-house inbound call desk, where what they do is they work with equipment-based partners and said, look, if you have a opportunity, if you have a lead, you have a customer with a problem, just give them this phone number and they'll call us, and that phone number is tagged to the ABC VAR. And so when the phone call comes into their in-house help desk, what they do is they can either answer it carrier services desk, or they can answer it ABC VAR carrier services, how can we help you? Do you think that's the sort of thing that the VARs would be open to? Because if they can refer their customers to a phone number that they think that this is a trained person on the other end, that's the sort of help that VARs are looking for?
I think it's a very interesting concept, and I hope that really takes off.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I find with a lot of the VARs is that, wouldn't say a lot, but a good percentage is that they want the revenue, the majority of the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And when there was a VAR one time who said to me, he goes, I want 90%.
What?
And I said, okay. I said, that's fine. And it was an Avaya dealer, and I won't mention the name. And I said, all right, if you want 90%, this is what I would like. On the Avaya phone systems we refer you to is that I would like 90% of the sale,
Mm-hmm.
I like 90% of support, and like 90% of the accessories going forward.
Right.
So you get 90%, I get 90%.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
And then there was like a moment of silence there where you could see his brain was ticking. And my exact words after that is, when you're serious to partner, when you really want to partner, give me a call, and we can make it fair for both of us. And that's what I'm talking about, is that it needs to be fair for both parties.
Right, right. So now, have you started working together with any VAR equipment vendors?
I
Where
have.
Okay, and what is it? What is a good model that you see as a good starting off point?
You
For,
know, the good model that works for me in the best model is when it's a 50-50 revenue split.
hmm
And, you know, we're each have skin in the game. We're both, you know, taking care of the customer.
hmm
And and I think it's fair. We're
hmm
doing majority of the work, you
Right.
know, but up front, the VAR is heavily engaged.
hmm
But on the back end that's where we come into play, because I have a full back office to take care of all of MACDs, new
Right.
orders,
hmm
trouble tickets, or whatever it is, where they don't have that level for them.
Now, reflecting back over the past year for the deals where you were brought in by one of your equipment partner VARs, was it mostly, simple circuits that they needed, or did the VAR pull you in on stuff that was more than just transactional, where that you were designing a solution, a call center or something like that?
You know, it's a combination of the two.
hmm
You know, they'll call us a lot for the transaction business, like you were just mentioning.
hmm
But like right now, we're working on 3 opportunities that are complex,
mm
very complex. One
hmm
is a 1,500 contact center,
Wow.
because the customer made it very crystal clear they're going to the cloud
hmm
and they don't want it on premise. And the VAR is the one who sold them the on premise, and he wasn't sure who to go to.
Mm.
And so that right there is a true testament that the industry is changing so much, and you have to adopt with change. And if
Right.
you don't, it will pass you by.
hmm Now, going back to the VAR that brought that, was the equipment VAR for a premise-based contact center, and then they brought you in to look at a cloud-based contact center. Does the customer still see you as, a part of the VAR, or does the customer say, look, you need to talk to D&M, and so the customer is seeing you as a different person than the VAR that brought you in originally?
No, the way we're introduced to the customers is that we're an extension of the VAR.
Okay.
We're a true partner of the VAR, and it's important for us that the VAR is always there in the beginning, because at the end of the day, with us, it's the VAR's relationship. It's their customer.
hmm
We work for the customer. We work for the VAR. You know, our job is to keep, everyone happy.
hmm
And the one thing that we constantly ask our VARs is to do is one thing: to stay in touch with the customer and make sure they're happy and create that maintain that relationship.
hmm
Because at the end of the day, we're just in a relationship business.
Right.
As long as you have great relationships, they'll refer you to other people.
hmm hmm
And, that's what it's all about. And that's what we ask all our VARs to do, is maintain the relationship. It's your customer. It's always going to
Right.
be your customer.